Going live. It's the Going Live song. Hey, we're live. Thank you, YouTube. Welcome, everybody, back to another life-changing episode of the best darn show on the internet, the Sharon Show. And I say life-changing because no one that ever, no one that listens to this is ever going to be the same again. And why am I making this crazy claim? It's only because, we're never the same person. You'll probably hear something today that'll make you a different person. It might not even be a huge thing. It might be a tiny thing. So we're making small claims and making them sound big, but your
Small
life
claim
will still be
court.
changed. Small claims court. We got to find a word that rhymes with court, and we could say it.
Back to life. Back to
To
reality.
reality. Back
I,
to
that's,
live. Yeah.
I don't remember anything else but those two
Well,
lines.
back to being live because we haven't been live for a few
Oh,
episodes.
back to live.
And
Correct.
a little omen for us is that I was doing the artwork or something about the live. Oh yeah, I was doing it, gonna set it up on YouTube. And the last live we did was the other one on the Kybalion, episode 155.
Indeed. It was.
So that's an 11. And today we have a 6 for numerology. 159 is a 6. We do have a quote. The lovely Sharon sent me a cacophony. No, cacophony is a word I was trying to figure out the other day, but I did. It doesn't quite fit. I'll find something else. She sent me a plethora, a virtual downpour rainstorm of Carl Jung quotes, and I was like, oh my God. I got lost for a minute, but I found a really cool one I think will fit today, so I'm going to share it with everybody. We'll probably see more in the future. Stay tuned. We won't use only Carl Jung quotes, but we'll use some of the good ones. Here we go. In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. Carl Jung. And I just want to give a shout out to this picture I found of him smoking a pipe with that face. He's just looking at you like, are you blaming other people? Is that what you're doing? He's like, are you doing the work? He's like, come on. I love you, Carl Jung, wherever you are. Good job, dude. You did the best with what you had. People try to judge him. It's like, dude, what have you done with your life? Did you smoke a pipe and sneer at people? No. Anyway. Sharon, what do you think of the quote?
In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. I kind of like the rhyming quality of it toward the end. Of course, he uses the same word, order and order, but he does, it's like an emphasis. So he has chaos and he has disorder, which are two synonyms. And
Antonyms.
and in the case, what?
You said synonyms.
They are synonyms.
Chaos. Oh yeah, chaos and disorder. I'm sorry. I thought you said chaos and order.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind, everybody. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Sharon.
Chaos and disorder are
Are
synonyms.
synonyms. Yes, you're so
And
right.
so he's almost doing kind of like I'm just thinking about this right now. So he's
Yeah,
almost
go
kind of
for it.
doing like a comparison as well with the cosmos and a secret order. And secret order makes me think of arcana because that's what arcana means secret, right? So
Oh,
I don't know. I just thought of that right now. It just came to me. So
I like that. Also, as we'll see, I'm sure, in writing the Kybalion, what the heck just happened? Oh, in writing the Kybalion, we're going to see how,
reading.
in reading the Kybalion, I've been reading. In breaking it down and covering the Kybalion, we're going to see how there's a spectrum of things, right? Like, so we talk about this on the show all the time. Hot and cold, you know, there's a scale. Hot and cold are just, you're pointing at different parts of one thing, one scale. So in a way, chaos and disorder and order, say order and disorder, or chaos and order are the same things, just on a different scale if you look at them from a certain point of view. And I think that's really important because it's like the yin and the yang, and we just covered the Tao. We just did hundreds of hours probably of commentary on that amazing piece of literature. Check it out. It has its own playlist right here on our Brandon Bonanza YouTube channel. Anyway, so it's like a cosmic dance, and I love it because it also embodies the show. I mean, I'm very chaotic. Sharon's very orderly, but I do possess order, and Sharon does possess chaos. You know, it's not like it's one or the other. But we come together in this way to give you guys this amazing show, and it just kind of works because we use it in a way where she covers the slack where I'm lacking, and I cover the slack or whatever. Like we just fit together like puzzle pieces in the show. That's what it is, I guess, something like that. So I thought it was a great quote because of that. And for people to remember in your life, it is if it is a little chaotic right now, and you're not where you want to be or where you think you want to be, just remember it's a cycle and it swings back around. And if there is chaos, there has to be order somewhere. It's like an opposite of a thing. Use the apophatic method. Look for where you can find the order, or just ride the chaos and have a good time, or do
Yeah.
whatever you want. We're not trying to tell you what to do.
The chaos makes me think of that you said we are all probably experiencing some level of chaos right now. And it makes me think of I did a reading, a tarot slash oracle reading for myself, an annual one. I did it toward the beginning of the year, so like January. And I pulled cards for the entire year for myself. And every month I I go look at the cards, and then I like do like a journaling of like what the cards kind of represent in that's like where I'm at. And this month, one of the first cards I got was the Temperance card in the
Mhm.
Tarot of the Divine, I think is what it was. And it was a bodhisattva with like multiple hands sitting on like a little, like a lotus pad on water with one of her feet in the water, kind of like the Temperance card has one foot in the water. But she has like multiple hand, she, whatever the bodhisattva is, has multiple hands, like to me, it's like juggling a bunch of stuff. Like, and I was like, holy smokes. Because yeah, there's a bunch of stuff to juggle right now because I'm in New Jersey and I'm just in a different place, not in my, usual surroundings. And I was sent on an errand the other day. Like this is an example of the chaos that I felt. I was sent on an errand. Cody was working, and we had a couch to get delivered, but the delivery, everything just got screwed up. So we're just like, you know what, we're just going to pick it up ourselves. So he sent me to Home Depot to run an errand and rent a van and go pick up this couch and and come back with it. And that whole scenario was just like so stressful for me because number one, I don't really drive around here in New Jersey because
Oh, Jesus. You can't take left-hand turns there either, right? It's all like the
sometimes you
roundabout.
sometimes you can't because it just depends on where you are. There's lots of little weird things that you have to do. So they have those jug handles and just weird stuff where you have to do a U-turn by turning somewhere else first, and then you can't do a U-turn. You have to do a jug handle and then do a U-turn. Um,
It's
some,
like where you're going is only 2 miles away, but it'll take you half an hour to get there.
yeah, it's insane. And then of course you're on these streets where like, there's maybe three lanes for like half a second, and then like the third lane turns into an exit only lane that goes somewhere else or gonna do something else. And you have to like know that that's gonna happen. So move over in time. But the left lane could do the same thing later on. Like you don't know. So it's like you constantly have to be like either the area really well or you just have to be on your toes. Like, and then okay, on the way there, I'm fine because I'm driving Cody's car and I'm used to that car a little bit more now. But when I get the van,
Oh my
this
God.
giant van that has no rear view mirror because it's a van it's closed, so you can't see through, it doesn't have a window in the back. So you're relying on the two side views, which is fine. And you're relying on when you're backing up, it does have a backup camera. But I'm just like, why don't these people not only just use the backup camera for backing up, but like Why don't they just use it all the freaking time? Then you could see what the heck is, it's like a rear view mirror. Like, why don't you just enable it at all times? And then I can see what's freaking behind me. And I don't have to have a rear view mirror. Or like, put it up near the rear view mirror so I can look and be like, oh yeah, I can use it as a rear view mirror of sorts, right?
Yeah.
It just like I thought of that as I was like, it was like really stressful. And when I went to go pick up the couch, finally, I can find my way through all this stuff, right? When I'm driving this van, it's nuts. Um, and I get to go pick up the couch, and the guy who's supposed to help put it on the van or load it is out to lunch. I'm like, lovely. So this other guy who's not usually in charge of helping is helping, and this other lady who's not used to helping is helping. And I had to help because the couch was heavy. So, heavy enough that the man was pulling it up from one side and the lady and I had to help on the other side, right?
This is
So
crazy.
I know it was nuts. So yeah. And okay, so it keeps getting better.
Oh, keep going. I'm just saying it's nuts that they made
I
you do all that.
I get I get in the van finally, and I'm like, okay, now I'm on my way home. This should not be so bad. But then it's like rush hour because it's like kids are getting out of school. It's like 2-ish, 3-ish. And I'm just relying on GPS. And my phone's at like 37% or something, 40% maybe. And I'm just like, okay, I'm hoping the battery is fine. And like I'm gonna be able to get home without, because I didn't have my charging cable with me. So I'm on the way, and then it routes me through this place, and I'm just like, I don't know any better. Like they could route me 2 places and I can pick one, and I don't know which one's going to be the best route because I'm not from around here. So I picked the one that it first gave me, right? Because it gave me 2 options. I picked the one that it gave me first. So I was like, okay, go that way. So I did, but it passes me through like a school zone, and then so I'm behind a bunch of cars.
Oh
Okay,
no.
and then there's a
Fucking
lane
Google.
closure. And then I'm right now, I'm on the side of the road, like I'm just on the shoulder now. And, there's cones next to me, and I'm on the shoulder. It's so I'm just like, this is wonderful. This can't get any better or worse. And then the trees that I was passing by were so overgrown that they're slamming into the van, and they knock my right view mirror out of place.
Oh no.
I'm just like, seriously, right now, thank you. And I'm like, now I have to stop, and I need that rear view mirror because I don't have a rear view.
Yeah, you need that mirror.
I need that mirror.
You're like
So
blind without
I
it.
had to find a place to kind of stop, and you know I was just like so frustrated, and I couldn't find the hazards. I'm like, where are the hazard lights? There should be a big red button somewhere on this freaking van, and I could not find him. I'm like, I looked everywhere around me and I couldn't find the freaking button. So I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna stop. And I stopped, and after I had passed some of that zone, finally stopped and fixed my mirror. Luckily, I could just walk over inside. I didn't have to get out. I walked inside the van and moved it out of place, moved it back into place, and then went home. But
Well,
yeah,
that's good.
that was annoying.
I think Tony nailed it. He's like, I figured someone probably sued saying I was looking at the backup camera and that caused my crash in the front. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what, we get sued. People are like, they think they're making out with all these lawsuits, but then we get these bullshit laws like you can't have a video when you're driving. People do it though, illegally, but you're right. It makes sense if you could just look in the back and see behind you. I mean, what the f
Right. Wouldn't that be like, it's like having a rear view mirror, especially in a van that doesn't have a rear view mirror. Like you could even put it right there. Then you'd have you'd be like, I was looking at my rear view camera. It's like a rear view mirror because I don't have one. So anyway,
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Hey, can you sue him for going insane? I went insane by trying to drive your van, and it was so ridiculous. my brain exploded and now I can't work. You gotta pay me because your car's so dumb. Why wouldn't you keep the camera on? No, pretty funny.
Anyway,
Anyway, though it's cool though because I was having a day like that the other day where everything seemed to just be going wrong and slowing me down, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm just not meant to get where I'm going when I'm supposed to. And I got there, everything worked out, was the way it was supposed to. But I mean, I was, where was I going? I'm trying to think. Because even I think I was just going to a wedding. That's what it was. And I just kept having slow people in front of me. And then even when I got to the place, because the place is like a inn, it's a big like a ho almost like a hotel, but like a nice inn on the beach. As I was walking from the parking lot, this slow family got in front of me. I couldn't get around them. It was so funny. I was like, ah. And then they went in the door, and I'm just standing there like, but I didn't care. I was like, this is great. And that's why I said that it must be a reason that, I'm not meant to be here yet. What am I gonna do? But it's crazy how you can notice these patterns of, I feel it's like the omens, like we read about or we read about in The Alchemist. It's great.
yeah. So I was frustrated. And so the way I can see it, like you said, is like this quote says, and in all that disorder is a secret order. And could it be that what I had to do that day had to happen for a reason? All the things that happened for a reason, maybe slowed me down from being somewhere else where something else could have happened. You never know. So
Like we say all the time, maybe you would have got hit by a bus instead of stuck behind one if you went the other way.
mm, yeah.
Awesome. Well, you want to pull a card for us?
Well,
Or would
I
you like me to pull a card?
you
Go ahead.
can. I have this little deck. Remember I told you this
Oh
is.
yeah, I have. Hang on. Let's see. Whoa. My signature whoa move. I have this goes well. It's the Hermetic Tarot. This is my lovely wife's deck. I have one, but it's
Oh,
put
that's
away
right, the
somewhere.
Hermetic Tarot.
Yeah, why not, right? It works. Let's see. Yes. Hello, Moon card. The Moon card is right on the bottom. All right. Eight of Wands. Yeah, she pulled the Eight of Wands last time she pulled, which is, that's a so
Oh, that's right.
it was cool. So when that card
Mhm.
gets pulled, I'm like, aha. All right. Let me do a quick little shuffle.
I got the, speaking of eights, I got the Eight of Cups as my next card in my June reading. And I
Ah,
was just like, okay, so I guess that just kind of means to me like I can, you know when it's time to walk away from a situation that I find, you know, dissatisfying or terrible or whatever. Like my Eight Cups represent all my grief and tears and my anger toward that situation, like whatever my experience was, those Eight Cups. And I can be like, I bitch, I'm done. Bye. And I can just walk away.
exactly. Yes, I know that so much. I've been going through a lot of that. It's a whole separate podcast, everybody, but it has to do with this theme I've been talking about, but it's going great. Go back a few episodes. Anyway, it's personal life stuff, everyone, no worries. So it's so funny you said all that stuff about the tarot, and I was blowing my mind, but then I pulled the card and blew my mind. So at the end of last episode, we were talking about Gollum, right? That was the last
Oh,
episode?
was that?
Well,
Yeah, that had to have been.
I pulled the Hangman, and so just to fill people in, we were talking about Gollum. We'll get into that a little bit, but so I pulled the card from the Lord of the Rings tarot, like the Gollum card, and read it, and it was the Hanged Man. So now we have the Hanged Man here, a little.
That's
It's like a way of the universe
no,
saying we're just picking up where we left off. It's the same message, even though last week we were talking about the Alchemist. This week we're talking about the Kybalion. It's
it's
all
all
the same.
related.
We're just all walking up the mountain. We're one step at a time up the mountain. Near similar
Alchemy,
paths, but
hermetics, it's all related.
yeah. So the Hanged Man has to do with seeing things backwards. It's just like I said, the apophatic method a few minutes ago. You're just looking at things upside down. This entire realm, this entire society is just an inversion of nature. And if you see that, then you won't have to freak out and see that there's lies everywhere. Why is there lies? Well, not exactly their lies. It's just an inversion, and you've been accepting it tacitly. You didn't know. And now you woke up and you're at the Oversharing show and you're having a great day. So you probably already know about the Hanged Man, but it's really about just having a different perspective, and that's what we talk about on the show all the time. So I feel like the Hanged Man is like our spirit card, animal card, like we always are trying to look at things upside down and from a
It's
different
a
angle.
totally freaking perfect card for this show because we just were talking about the chaos and the order and the two opposite ends of the spectrum. So this hanged man is telling you, yes, I know you're looking at it from your perspective, but why don't you flip it and look at it from the opposite perspective? And maybe that'll give you some insight, you know? The different view will help you, perhaps. Could it be?
Could it be? All right, I think that's enough to say about that card because pretty self-explanatory. And let's dive in because the um I love
Kybalion.
the Kybalion. I also love all of our fans. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to Tony for being here consistently. What a great
Yeah,
dude.
thank
Shout
you.
out to people like him, like Quiet Sparky, where people are always here. Thank you guys for making the show so amazing, and thank you for being a witness to our show. Morelawsmoreproblems.com is the website. Click on the Oversharing tab, and there's several ways to support us. But we always say be here every Thursday when we go live or premiere. Hang out in the chat. If you can't do that, leave a comment. One thumbs up a week, everybody. You can join the great pyramid scheme.
Wherever it's at.
There it is. One thumbs up a week, and you're part of the great pyramid scheme. And we'll talk about that more later. But you could sign up just by clicking that thumbs up button. That's all you got.
The subscribe and the thumbs up.
Yeah, subscribe too. And if you want to be an ultra member of the Great Pyramid Scheme, you subscribe. And then you have the access to all when we're going to go live. You click that bell, and then you're an ultra member sometimes Brandon is chaos and he's driving. And he's like, let's just pop on and do like ask
Oh,
Tony. He was there. I did a stream the other day. I ended it and I still got to fix my settings. So it set it to private. And I don't know if it edited it or not because right
I don't
now
know
it's not
why it does
showing it
that. Almost every time you go live by yourself on
from
your
my
phone,
phone.
it
Yeah,
do
mobily.
that. It's so weird.
It is so it's probably just a setting, but the weird thing I noticed when I was done recording, it was 33 minutes and 33 seconds long, but it's not showing up like that now. It's like 32:40. I don't know if it edited it or what, but either way, I was just meant to see those numbers. It was so funny. So yeah, you never know when I might pop on, or you never know, maybe Sharon and I will pop. Who knows? So you want to
And by the way,
subscribe?
that was Brandon's like studio. That was his
Yeah, it
car.
was my car studio. I wasn't really in a car. I mean, maybe I was, but probably not. Car studio. It's the technology these days. I'm telling you, it's the immersive experience. I had to flip off a guy. No, I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't do that when I'm driving. My finger's too long. It's too much of a statement for me to flip somebody off. Like how big my hands are. Right? I know people have big hands. Let me try. As frame of reference here. Here's a normal human-sized pen, and here's my hand. So it's like if I give them the finger, it's like they can see it from like two towns over. Everyone's gonna be like, "Damn, that guy told him." Oh, he's gonna have to hang his head in shame for like a week now. All right, so. Car studio. Yeah, so subscribe. That's what we're talking about. That's the over Sharon Great Pyramid Scheme. All right, so oh, that's the Alchemist. What am I doing? Silly Brandon. Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the Kybalion. Here we go. Why is this Oh, I know what happened. Maybe it's the wrong version I have up. I'll pull it up in a second, let me know, but
What are you
I don't know.
looking
It's
for?
smaller for some. I'm just gonna quit the preview and reopen it. That's what I'll do. Oh, there we go. All right. It just wouldn't expand. Maybe if I go, huh? That's weird. Because last time, oh, here it is. Okay, I went full screen and exited out, and now it's doing it. All right. Sorry, everybody. It was just showing up real small. It's weird, no matter how big I made it. Okay. And I thought it was ready to go. We are on page 11, so let me go back down to, I guess I could have saved everybody this. Shout out again to Bootsy Greenwood, Owen Hunt, amazing, amazing. This is his basically rewrite that we're working with, his uh, translation, if you will. And there we
We're
go.
on page 11. So we went
Yeah, wow.
through We
I
did
had
the
it ready too.
intro to each hermetic
Here we go.
principle.
Yes. So today, did you want to start? Did you want me to start reading? Did you have a? I can
I
start
don't
if
have
you want.
a preference.
Okay, I could start. Here we go, everybody. Mental transmutation, chapter 3. Mind as well as metals may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. True hermetic transmutation is a mental art. The Kybalion. All right, everybody, remember, mental art. It's all in your mind, could it be? The all is mind. The universe is mental, which means, oops, that the underlying reality of the universe is mind, and the universe itself is a mental construct.
I want to pause if you don't
Please,
mind,
yes.
because it's funny when you said it's all in your mind. It made me think of people when they're gaslighting somebody, right? Or like
Dude.
someone thinks that when someone thinks uh hold on, I can't see my face. Okay.
No worries.
When someone is let's say speaking their truth, right? Or their perspective, they're sharing their perspective, right? And someone tells them, no, that's not how it is. Just like in the movie Gaslight, where we get the term gaslighting. And the lady was telling her husband, I feel like the lights are dimmer today. And he's like, well, I never saw it. So I'm just going by what people say the description of the movie is about. Anyway, and he tells her no. And
And he did lower him, though. I don't know if you
he
said that
did
right.
lower that he
He
did
lowered
lower.
him, didn't tell her. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I don't know if he tells her she's going crazy or that it's all quote in her mind, but it it just made me think of that. And so like looking at it from a perspective of like, okay, it's not like we're gaslighting somebody by telling you it's all in your mind. We're coming at it from another angle of everything is all in your mind. So it's okay. Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. Right?
How
Like
could it
it's
really hurt you if it's going on inside your
exactly. It's
mind?
not meant to make you feel like crazy or stupid or retarded or anything like that. It's just meant to console you and tell you that everything is okay because this is how it really is. And this is how it's meant to be. So there is no
Because,
need for fear.
yes. And if anyone says, well, how do you know that's how it's supposed to be? Because it's the way it is. And that's what reality is. You're pointing to what is.
Yeah. And could it be that is truth? Speaking,
And oh, go.
I was just going to say, Brandon and I keep thinking of doing an episode on truth. And I just have so many notes about what we want to talk about that we have not done the episode, but it's something I want to do, just FYI.
I thought of another episode idea too, because we have the tenets.
Mm-hmm.
We could also do like 10 over Sharon questions. And we could just ask these top 10 questions, like whatever they are, if everything is moving, what does that mean? Just things like that. And we could lead people down a trail and they could figure it out for themselves. We don't have to make claims. It could be a show about questions.
I
But
like that idea.
I was thinking about that the other day. But I love what you said, though. It, and especially if it's all in our head, if it's all in our mind, it's like that song. I don't know if it's the Gorillas or whatever, or maybe it's not. He's like, I got sunshine. He's like, I'm happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. The future, something. The future is coming on. It's coming on. Anyway, it's a song. And he sings like that. And then one part he's going and he's like, and it's all in your head. And he like whispers really loud into the microphone. And it's always blown my mind before I could realize. And now I'm like, oh, because he's speaking this little bit of truth in the middle of a song And if you're a little intoxicated or whatever, it's gonna hit you, and you're just gonna be like, "Whoa, is it all in my head?" And could it be that's what this Kybalion is telling you? It's kind of like you're having a dream. How do we explain it? We don't. It's a great mystery, but we're gonna try to get close, and that's what these episodes are about. You know, squaring the circle. It can't be done, but you can always approach perfection. You can always try to approach it, and doing so, it is perfection. It's all perfect. Like Alan Watts said, that his name came up the other day. I was speaking with somebody. This Native American healer guy I know. He's like, oh yeah. And he's like, Alan Watts. He's like, he was drunk all the time. He's like, who cares? Look what he was
Yeah,
saying.
I
You know,
know. I
like,
know.
look what the dude did. He's like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter if he was drunk every day, because guess what? It makes my life easier. Thank you, Alan Watts. You made so many people's lives easier just by being who you were. So who cares, right? That's why we always say don't point the finger too. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So I finished reading or listening to the book about Ram Dass that was pretty much like his autobiography. It's called Being Ram Dass. I think that's what it was called. Because there's so many. I've read a couple of his other books. So I get all mixed up sometimes. But um, it's crazy how many people that he like knew and encountered and was like friends with and cool with. And Watts was one of those guys, you know. And
Yeah.
there were lots of other people, but and there are people that other people might be like, well, he was XYZ and he was such and such. Like,
He was CIA, but like, yeah,
yeah,
cool. I
yeah.
might be. Guys, I was in the military. There's probably people going, "Oh, I bet he's a shill." Or I couldn't even say the word. He said shill wrong. He's definitely a shill. Like, can you imagine? I'm a shill for big hair. Like, as you gotta no. But no, you're right. That's that. And again, even if that person was in the CIA, you don't know the experience that they had and went through, and if they're speaking a little bit of truth, yeah, maybe the CIA's plan was, hey, we're gonna culturally bomb this country, in the 60s, and free love and peace and sex, and it's gonna,
Yeah, right.
and we're living those again, nobody knows who their fucking parents are. I mean, Sharon, she grew up under a rock, thank God, but people who didn't grow up under a rock, man, we don't, who's my daddy? Anyway, so. But what I mean is, you could see the effects of this summer of love and all this. People say it was like a revolution, right? And it was definitely a cultural revolution, and there's a lot of people involved. And you could point to how they destroyed all these things, and all this stuff. But despite their plans, God's plan still won out, So it was God's plan to have this drunk and do all these lectures, and then years later they appear on YouTube, like anyway,
Yeah.
it's just crazy.
And also that, like, yes, so what if there were people claiming that there was some CIA thing going on with the psilocybin and all whatever that was that you were
Oh,
talking,
I could see that.
right? And it's like, okay, fine, but like, what was Ram Dass saying? What was he talking about? What did he do? Like, he,
And I
yeah,
would just say, just don't make the same mistakes then. There's a book. And if you read it objectively instead of trying to identify with the main character, you could see the faux pas and the flaws that they make. And you could say, what? I'm not going to make those flaws in my life. Thank you, Ram Dass, for making those flaws so clear. You
yeah,
know, like
yeah.
it, yeah, you get it.
Yeah. Like, I
Oh,
don't read it to be like, oh, he's my guru because he did, because he's perfect. It's like, no, I listen to people's experiences sometimes to learn from them so that I don't like maybe fall into the same trap or whatever, right? And like Ram Dass did say, every method is a trap. So even he was warning you, warning us.
I'm a trap too, right? That's right, because as soon as you put someone on that pedestal and you praise and worship them, that's why it says, you shall have no other gods other than me. The Christians have their interpretation, but I'd say my interpretation would be, you know what? Only worship yourself, and not in like a narcissistic, egotistical way, in a self-love way. Because could it be, if you don't love yourself, you really can't love anyone else. You're just projecting anyway, right? It's all inside. That's what the Kybalion said, so that's
And
all.
I would rephrase that as know thyself.
Know thyself. Yes.
Yeah.
All
Because,
right.
and how do you know thyself? By also knowing other people, learning about them and interacting with them and knowing their story. It, everyone can be a mirror, can be a teaching for you.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
You know, your waves that you're causing out there, you don't realize. I had somebody say something to me like, I I think it was something I said online or maybe in a podcast. And years later, someone came up to me and was like, "You said something in a podcast, man. Like, changed my life. I think about it every day." Imagine if I told that person to fuck off and I accurately described something that was like physically wrong with them and they didn't like. I'm like, hey, your right eye is higher than your left, which is cool because I think one of my eyes is higher, so that's why I said that. You know, but they will like screw with them for the rest of their life. You know, they might murder might ensue because of that, or who knows. But instead, you're just like, hey, dude, and if someone pisses you off, just smile at them. You know, you never know what you could do. You're transmuting real time when you're doing that. You know, it's crazy. It's like the movie Pay It Forward, but in reverse, or Anyway, all right, let's get back to this. What do you think?
Um, it's good. And I guess I just wanted to comment a little bit on the quote that comes
Oh yeah.
from the Kybalion
Here,
because
I'll
it says,
bring it back up.
yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself too.
So it says, mind as well as metals may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pull to pull, vibration to vibration. True Hermetic transmutation is a mental art. So we were saying earlier, yeah, it's all in your mind. But another way that we can look at this too, I think, is by saying that all those things that were mentioned, um, you can do with your mind, state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. You can do that all with your mind. Could it be?
You get to decide how you feel. Most people are sitting around with all this unresolved anger and all this unresolved trauma and guilt. You know, I get it. Me too, guys. And this is what I was in, and I'm a lot better now, but whatever. And we're sitting around with all this rage we want to let out, and then we walk around in life. And then as soon as we see that we perceive somebody as offending us, how dare they, we just unload that rage on them. How about, instead you just work on that rage, let it out, whatever you got to do. I don't know, meditate. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life. You figure it out, or, and then when that happens, I know for me, meditation helped, microdosing, psilocybin could it be maybe? And I started to develop this spot before I reacted where I could respond instead, how I want instead of a reaction from like, a trauma reaction or who knows, who is that that's just reacting? Who is that? That's somebody like hundreds or thousands of years ago that started to beat their kids up and then it just got passed down or whatever. I was never beat up anyone, I'm just saying. So, that's what it is. You're literally like channeling your ancestors' grief or whatever, or anger, And when you let it go, it's a true transmutation. And if somebody comes at you and tries to offend you or has some bullshit, and you show them some compassion or understanding or whatever, you're transmuting that whole situation. It's going to flip the vibration, and it's real magic, you know? Could it be? Small claims here.
Small claims court.
Small claims court. Dun, dun, dun. That's the People's Court thing, but I still.
Oh, God.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God, that show. Yeah, so really that's all it's about, Could it be? I don't know, maybe we're wrong. And this is what I want to say too. I know I'm ranting a little bit, but it's great. Everyone, you love it. What Sharon said before, and what it says in the Kybalion, it's all mind, it's all inside our mind. So we're trying to make this claim that, hey, everything that's going on is all inside your mind. Maybe we're just crazy hippies. Maybe I did one too many microdoses and I lost it and I'm wrong. But I will tell you, even if I am wrong, if you use this, what we're talking about, see, the way we're describing what we're talking about here, you don't have to look at it this way. You can look at it any way you want. But what we're talking about is your reaction. So if you can learn to react in a better way, you're going to have a better life. Even if all this isn't going inside your head and all the materialists are right and the moon isn't made of cheese and I'm crazy, you're still going to have a cool life. This other stuff you could just look at as comedy. Be like, oh, he's just crazy. Crazy Brandon and Sharon and they think the moon's made out of cheese. Don't worry about all that. Just focus on, hey, Do what I said about the transmutation. Try that. See where it works. And that works for physical universe too. That's why I love it because the physical people with all their everything's material and their hardcore laws and stuff, it doesn't allow for the spiritual. But the spiritual allows for the physical dream or whatever, or it could really be physical too. I don't know, but so that's what I like about it too, because if you look at it that way, it fits in there. So anyway, I know it was a long rant, but you guys are great.
Yeah, and I don't know why this, I can't remember something you said made me think of this book that I'm reading. I started to read it. So I'm just at the very beginning, but I have a feeling it's going to be really good. So it's called A Simple Explanation of Absolutely Everything. And it's talking about basically, she's a PhD in some sort of, I don't remember what, but she's been a philosopher since she's like 4 years old. Like her brother was like older than her, and she would ask him like all these like ridiculous amazing questions when she was like 4. So she's been philosophizing about the world since she was that age, and over the years she started to want to like write about it and kind of like explain it out and just like simplify it so that it explains everything.
I
um
love it.
and I'm just in the very beginning, but I'm already enjoying um what she's saying. It looks cool.
Yeah, philosophy's a good meeting place in the middle for people who are still like on a materialistic slant. And again, everybody material like you're a proud person listening to this. I'm a secret materialist and I don't even know it. So you definitely are. You know, we have all these prejudices and blind spots that we don't realize because of materialism, but it's okay. It's fine. It's great. But yeah, that sounds like an amazing book. It sounds familiar. I might have seen it somewhere or whatever. I don't know. That's cool though. I like that. Yeah, I feel like I've been a philosopher since I was 4. But I'm so lucky because I was raised in a different environment. I was raised in this environment where I had a lot to overcome, and man, I'm like a ninja now. This is like I've been having a couple conversations recently with family and stuff, serious stuff, and I've been, killing it. So, and this podcast helps too. So, you know, maybe Sharon and I aren't getting rich, but let me tell you, we're getting fucking rich in the Lord. We're building our treasures in heaven, like they used to say to us, right?
That's right.
So I'm not worried about anything. I mean, a weird thing just happened. We got a package delivered to us, and it's because like our road is like something something turnpike, and theirs is just like like say it's New York. Theirs is New York Turnpike, and ours is like Old New York Turnpike or whatever. And it's the same number, so we got their package. I didn't even know, and I called them, and it was a liquor store. So I went there. It was so funny, like you just these silly omens, and they're like, "Oh, we know you." I'm like, "Shut up! I don't want people on my show knowing I'm an alcoholic." No, it's just right down the street. Once in a while, we go there. It's not like, but yeah, it's crazy though. I don't know. And then I've had this other this is really what I wanted to say. The Kybalion and all this stuff that we talk about in you know tarot decks and all this stuff, you really don't even need it. If you're at a point where you could just open your eyes and be in the present and the moment and look around, God will send you those signals. I saw three hawks. I'm sorry, three crows chasing a bald eagle away from a place I went to visit my parents, and it was this shopping center where I got arrested once for shoplifting when I was like 14. We used to do it because we were bored. I've never been a thief, but I was like, this is fun. So we would just take stupid stuff, whatever. I never had a record because of it, and then I felt so bad because I had the guilt for INTPs or cancers. I felt so guilty. It was funny. Anyway, I learned a lesson. Unfortunately, my friend that I was with that day did not learn a lesson, and he went. It was just like a diversion. Like I went the other way. So anyway, three crows were chasing a bald eagle out of that shopping center, and it was crazy because the crows came back one at a time, flowing, and they're really tired. And I interpreted it just as like these three dark secrets and all this stuff. And it worked out. And I figured out what one of them was almost before I found out for sure. Almost pretty much all of them because of that. So I'm telling you guys, these omens, like it's like in the Alchemist, the two hawks, flying, and then there's a war. Just keep your eyes open. God wants to tell you, the universe, whatever it is you really could it be, wants you to succeed. You probably have dandelions growing right outside your house that are trying to help you. You know, like this place is a magical realm. You just have to see it that way, and then it becomes that. But if it's a place of misery for you, guess what? It's gonna go, okay, I'll show you the worst miseries you want to see. You know, like it's just giving you what you want, and you just don't realize.
That is what I had to
Could it be? Sorry, go ahead.
remind myself about when I was going
To
to
Home
pick
Depot.
up
Yeah.
when I was going to pick up that sofa. I was like, when I got back, I was like, could it be that I magnetized all that energy to myself because I was worried about it the whole time? Like, I was stressed. I didn't want to do this because I don't know my way around. I should have, why didn't I? Here's the thing. I was like, why didn't I just go, everything's going to be fine. I'll get there on time. It'll be perfect. It'll be smooth. I'll be like, I didn't tell you the part at Home Depot where they're now using this thing called clear
Oh
to
no.
validate your identity.
Wait,
I was
what?
like, yeah.
Do you have to have a government ID? You know, I still don't have. I refuse because, like, back in 2005 or maybe even earlier, I came across these videos about them. Like, these government IDs are going to want to have one. And it was related to all that, you know. Remember the chip in your hand propaganda that was
Yeah, I
going
remember
around?
that. Yeah.
So I just never had a good feeling
And
about
the
these government
mark
IDs. Yeah, the
of the
mark of the
beast.
beast. I'm a beast. Before I get into that, Josh says crows are chill. I personally don't really get signs like that, but my eyes are open. Why does Home Depot need to validate your identity? Yes, Josh, your second one. I personally don't really get signs like that, but my eyes are open. You know, Josh, could it be that you're just fucking out there killing it and you don't need signs, man? I think that's what it is. God's like, you know what? Just do it. You're killing it, bro. And this also had to do with like dark family secrets. So you don't want these omens. No, I'm just kidding. It was very freeing for me, and you know, I'm not going to talk about a lot of this stuff on the show, guys. Sorry. But the omens are real. That's all I got to say in it. You know, it's I don't know, nothing really, whatever. You guys get it. But
So
Josh, yes, and maybe the omens, like I said, or you know, I don't know. Anyway, Sharon,
to answer Josh, the
yes.
reason they need to validate it is so that you can rent the car or the truck or the whatever. So that's what they're
Right.
doing now.
I thought you meant just to buy something there. I was
No,
like,
no, no, no. It was for like doing the rental agreement
mm.
or whatever for the van. So my guess is there have been too many ghetto people getting away with stuff,
Insurance. Yeah, it's
and
the
so
that's what it is, and people
and
think
they
they get
ruin it for
over.
other people.
Sorry.
Okay, so anyway, I had to go through all that, and then it wasn't. There was a hiccup where it wasn't taking the address that I had listed there, and it was just like I was like, sorry, but like it's gonna have to work, you know. But anyway, it ended up working out, and but at the same time, I was like, I didn't want to have to freaking go through that. But then I had to remind myself that everything is fake in this realm, that I'm just, when I leave, this is all disappearing in this, in the sense that I don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it
You're
anymore.
not even gonna be here when I turn around, dude.
Yeah. So like when I die, right? Or when this corpse is dead, my whatever, my soul, my consciousness will merge back with the divine or whatever, and however it works. And all that will be in the past and I don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? So I had to just be like, it it's not a big deal. It is what it is. Who cares? This like people here have their little fake ways of getting around making you do stuff so they can have your data, so they can monitor your whatever. I have like a divine cloak of protection surrounding me, so like nothing can harm me. Okay, this realm cannot harm me. I Everything will just, I will be gone at some point and all this will just remain or do whatever it is going to do. So I
Yeah,
had to
we're
think
just gonna walk
about,
into the mirror. That's what she said. That
yeah,
we could just refer to our deaths as walking into the mirror, and that if we say it enough, it's gonna happen. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So as I was thinking about when I got back, I was like, why was I magnetizing myself to like all these negative things? What I should have just said, everything's gonna go perfectly well when I get there, smooth. The couch is gonna be, everything's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna blah blah blah. Everything's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna get back and it's gonna be perfect. Everything's just gonna be perfect. And maybe things would have gone differently, even if it was just my perspective that changed it. Right.
100%, even if it was only that. But I'll go a little further and just say, it seems to be a very magical time right now. We've always been in this realm where you can manifest, your reality. But I believe that for some reason, and I've said this before, but look at the politics. Sometimes it's a real show out there, and maybe those are the times when the manifesting capability is like supercharged. We have this comedian for president, he's great. And then we had this other guy that was just like not even there, and it was this show and a lady was involved and everybody was in people that I know that were like they had previously become libertarians and they wrote off politics. They are now like, you know,
Staunch.
voracious supporters of this comedian guy. I love him. There's nothing bad I could say about him. But anyway, so but it's like, so why the push to get everybody back involved again? So and news is so crazy, right? It's got everybody. There's all these brands of news. It's not just on TV anymore. It's on the internet. It's on your phone. Everyone has their own brand. I get my news from here now. They're looking at it on their phone. So
Everyone has
why are they
their own
trying to get your
brand
attention?
on.
Huh?
Everyone has their own brand on.
Everyone has their own brand on. Brandon Bonanza. This is brought to you by Brandon Bonanza. Bhagwan Brandon. No, but yeah. So this manifestation, it's so basically just use it. We don't get conspiratorial here, everybody, but I'm just saying, use your attention for yourself. Because look at Sharon, like she was just saying, she was like, I'm gonna have a bad time, and she had a bad time, and then she's like, I'm not gonna anymore, and then it turned around. I mean, I rest my case, and it's been going
Yeah.
like that for me too.
Here, I'll tell you what happened. So when I got home, I was in bad mood and I was like, you know, telling Cody how terrible my drive was. And he was like, it's fine. You had an adventure. And I was like, why
I
aren't you
fucking
siding?
love Cody.
Why aren't you siding with me? Like, just listen. I'm upset right now. Can you just
Yeah.
listen to me? And he's like, you had it that you can now have a story to tell. And I was like, no, I don't want to tell the story. I don't want to have a story to tell. And so then ended up that I had to take, so we didn't have anyone to help us take the couch into the house because it was all just like we just did it just quickly and we didn't call anybody. It's like, can you help us? And it was heavy enough that I couldn't by myself help him carry it in. So I helped him get it out. So it was in the driveway. And then he's like, do you want me to take the van back or do you want to take the van back? And I was like, I guess I have to take the van back. But on my way to take the van back, I was just thinking to myself all these thoughts, right? Why did I have to be all negative about this? Like, why can I be more positive? Blah, blah, blah. And then I thought to myself, well, okay, I'm gonna do the positive. Because at the time, Cody was like, I can't find anybody to help me put this in. And like nobody from the neighborhood was back home from work or whatever. Like he couldn't just like knock on the neighbor's door and be like, can you help me? Because no one was home yet across the street or whatever. So I was just like on the drive over to take the van back. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. It's all perfect. Cody's going to find somebody to help him put the couch in and it's going to work out. It's going to be fine. It's not going to be a big deal. I get back and the couch is inside the house. And he's like, yeah, the neighbor came by. The neighbor just got home like a little bit after you left and he helped him bring it in. Boom, it was done.
I love it.
Yeah. So I
That's
changed that. Like instead of worrying about that, I like was like, you know what, it's gonna be fine. And then it was. And I'm like, why didn't I do that for me?
exactly. But now you have the knowing because you did it the other way and you were like, oh, shoot, I did it the wrong way. Let me try it this way.
Yeah.
And it worked.
The hanged man.
The hanged man. I did that too. Quick story. It reminded me of the other day. We found this spot a couple months ago. It's called Swimming Hole Road. And you drive, and there's a one-lane bridge, and you can see this beautiful little stream or river. It's probably about 15, 20 feet wide, and you could probably go in swimming in it. Every time we drive by, it's packed. The other day was a nice day, and it's a drive we go on anyway. And I'm like, you know what? We'll go by there. And I said to myself, it's going to be empty. I'm like, that parking lot's going to be so empty. We pulled up, it was empty, Sharon. There was no one there. And we've never seen it empty the first time. And we drive by, that's what on our main drive, we do it that way. Like we found some cool back roads, you know? And so and when we left, it was full and we didn't see anybody. They all went to some other part of it. We left, we were there for an hour. We came out, the parking lot was full. It was great. Hmm.
Dude, this morning, Cody had to go into work and like physically drive to an office. Usually he works from home, right? But they're doing like a team building. So he had to go to work in today. And when he left, I just thought to myself, you know what? I need to manifest like a good trip for him because I know he gets frustrated on the road and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, there's gonna be no traffic, everything's gonna be fine, he's gonna get there fine, everything's gonna be good. And he texted me later and he was just like, I'm here or whatever. I'm like, okay. But like I think that if he could have been late, like I was like, he's gonna be on time, right? He could have been late, he could have been like things could have happened and clearly none of that happened. Everything was good. And I was like, everything's gonna go smoothly, he's gonna have a good time with his coworkers and everything's gonna be good. Like I was like, I need to
I
have
love it.
like imagine that everything's gonna be good for him. So I did that earlier.
So you get to find out then.
Yeah,
All right.
later when he comes back.
I mean, it's up to him now. Haha. But I love it how he's saying that too. That's so amazing because it's funny because you guys probably don't have the same like cosmology per se or whatever. You might not agree on things, but you could see what's important, right? Like, we gotta imagine our happy future. Like, as long as you can figure that out, who cares what, that, and that's what we say in the show. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or a freaking Satanist. I mean, you might want to check yourself, but what I'm saying is if you're living by the golden rule, you're probably not a Satanist. So, but it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, I love my Muslim brothers and sisters and whatever faith. You could just do this basically living the golden rule, do not do unto others what you don't want done to yourself and just transmute every day. You're a secret alchemist, man. You don't even know. You don't need the costumes. You don't need to look like a hair model. You don't need to look like a rock star and hang on. You don't need to. Hi everybody. This is Brandon Bonanza.
Oh, nice hat.
And I'm here to sing. I got this from Pendleton. It's all wool
Oh,
and
it's a Pendleton hat.
quite a time ago. You never guess what I paid for this hat from Pendleton. I paid 25 American dollars because it was on like 75% off. It's supposed to be 100 or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, and I've
Very
had
nice.
it for a while. Holds up real well. I've been wearing it more recently though. I noticed I'm just gonna it's my thing now. Remember I got that one in Arizona and then but it's just the sun. Anyway, so everybody, Brandon Bonanza here to tell you, just be easy on yourself.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was saying, but yeah,
Should we go back to the reading?
yeah.
Read like anything but like two
We
lines.
just go till we get lost and go back. We don't even talk. It's not about the Kybalion. It's about us. But we trick people. But it's cool. This is our. We didn't make any rules. We don't have rules. But what a great quote, though. Really is. Um, Thank you, Sharon, for having me go back to that. Mental.
The,
Okay, so
the third, the third
right here,
paragraph.
this right. This leads.
Yeah, I read that already. You read
Oh,
that
okay.
already. You can read it again if you want.
Yeah, this leads to the truth that if the universe is mental in nature, then mental transmutation is the art of changing the conditions of the universe.
Which is what we were just talking about.
Yes, you want to change the world, ladies and gentlemen? What does Mark Passio say? Change yourself, right?
Mm.
Mental transmutation is pure magic and is the magic that has been kept hidden within us. Let me read that again, everybody.
Mm.
Hidden, right? Occulted. Mental transmutation is pure magic and is the magic that has been occulted within us, though. By who? If it's within us, who's hiding it from us? Could it be us?
Our
Are
own
we hiding it from
selves.
ourselves? Are we hiding it from ourselves like we do that chocolate that we don't want to eat at all and we just hide it so we can pretend we don't know where it is and only have it once in a while? Or no?
Or like when you lie to yourself.
Yeah, just eat all the chocolate. Who cares, man? This isn't real, you know? Just do what you gotta do because you'll get sick of it and not want to eat it anymore, man.
Exactly. Freaking
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm gonna wear
Yo.
a hat for a little while. I like this. And maybe I should even want to do the Brandon Bonanza because I don't want to talk about it, everybody. So just stay tuned for great things solo for me and more great things for Sharon and I together, and then who knows. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
Well,
incorporate the hat
well,
though.
speaking of the you'll get sick of it.
Yeah.
If you just keep doing it. So I'll speak for myself. So over the years, I've never been much of like a huge drinker, but like when I have, in the moments that I have, like at events that like my family's, like my brother's house or something, my sister's house, or like back when like I would go out with some friends or whatever. Um, Sometimes I would get, into state where I'm like, oh, I'll just have more and I'll just have more and I'll just have more. Cause you're just like, you're having a great time. You're just like, you want to maintain that, that buzz or whatever. So, but then I'd get to the point where it'd be like, I did a little bit too much. And then the next day I would feel like absolute crap. So, I've had, over the years, I've gone from like having it to then not having it and then having it sometimes and then going back to having it again more regularly and then maybe not. So it's just been fluctuating, right? Well, I would say that in the last, like, I think around the time of this road trip that we came out to New Jersey, um, I was kind of just like, it's not like that interesting to me right now. Like, I'm just not, I don't really want it. I don't really need it and really have the taste for it. And so I was just like not having it. And then one day, the last day of our travels, we ended it in Gettysburg before we came out to New
Jersey.
Jersey. And Cody wanted to go check out the campus that's there in Gettysburg. Uh, and we ended up walking around through the campus, and then we ended up going to this like bar because we thought maybe they might have live music because a friend of Cody's was like, yeah, we've played there before. So we go there, and it's a bunch of like young kids, right? And they had just had their graduation that day. Like some of them were just like, it was maybe their last day before they went back home where they lived or whatever, right? And so it wasn't like crazy busy, but like this bar, was had enough people, plenty of people, and like the young crowd, the college students. And at the time, so Cody had been taking a break from drinking from like the beginning of January.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So it'd been like months since he had anything. And he didn't really like feel like having anything. He was like cool, whatever, he didn't care. Um, but he was like, oh, why don't you have a drink? And I guess because we were in the scene or whatever, I was like, okay, I'll have one. And so I had one, and it was like one of those like little mini small little like margarita cocktails. And I had one, and it was like, it was pretty light, and it wasn't like hitting me hard at all. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll have another one. But then I was like, you know what, let me try a different flavor of something, maybe. So like I chose to get a Mai Tai, and those things are freaking loaded. And okay, so the way she served me this drink, the margarita was in a glass that was like this big. It was not very tall. The Mai Tai was like in a glass like this tall.
We're partying now.
And I like sip my drinks, and I don't like to like guzzle them down. Especially don't like, I don't do shots or anything like that. That's ridiculous. I
Yeah.
like, I like to nurse
Yeah,
my,
like to sip,
yeah,
enjoy.
I do. So, but then it was like getting late and they were closing. And Cody's like, come on, guzzle it down. I'm like, no, like I don't want to. I ended up doing that. And then I was just like, why did I freaking do that? Like, and then I didn't
There's
want to drink.
several factors, you know, because you don't
Yeah.
want to waste the
I
money.
know
You're
you're
like,
just
ah,
like, we just spent money on this stupid drink, but it's
weird
sweet,
peer
it's too much. I
pressure.
just don't feel like having it, but I don't, whatever, you
We've
know.
all been there.
So, you know, it's just like that's what happens. You just and so like after that, I was just like, I don't really feel like having anything. And then, I hadn't really had anything really since then. I don't think I did. Because I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna have a drink, I'm gonna wait till his sister's wedding. So Cody's sister was getting married. And she just had the wedding. They just had the wedding over the weekend. And and so I was like, yeah, I'll allow myself to drink. Not because, I'm being like, oh, I'm not drinking, but I was just like, yeah, I don't feel like it lately. But for an occasion, like a special occasion, I'll have some. So I did. And it was like, okay, I had at the time, I think it was what was it, like a white Zinfandel, because I that's all that I saw that they had. I didn't know if they had anything else. So I was just like, I'll just have that. So I had that, sipped on it. It was cool. Then I asked later, I was like, you know what, do you have any sangria? And she's like,
Hmm.
yeah. And so she got me one of those. And then, the night kept going on. And I was like, well, that was nice. It tasted good. I'll have another one. So I
Keep
had
them
another.
coming. No.
So and I did not expect that we would be up late. So I just thought, okay, fine. I'll have three wines. Maybe sangrias are a little more strong, but like I'll have three drinks and that's it. Like it's gonna be fine. And then we'll go to bed. Well, that night was the night Cody decided to start drinking again because he'd been not drinking since the beginning of January.
Oh,
And then he's like, it's like it's time to celebrate. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah.
like let's just and so he's like, let's go to the after party. So there was supposed to be an after party in one of the rooms. I think they set aside like two rooms, adjoining rooms. And then it got loud, too loud because there were too many people there. So they sent us down to the lobby. So,
Oh no.
I mean, we were down there till like 3 a.m. almost.
Yeah.
I, and I was, and down there they had more drinks. They had brought more drinks. And the bottle that was at my table was just like Chardonnay, or it wasn't not Chardonnay, it was like
Zinfandel.
champagne. And then
Oh.
when that was done, there was a bottle of Prosecco, which was the bride's favorite drink. So I was like, just like, point. I didn't even know how much I drank because I had a solo cup and I just kept putting just a little bit like this. But so I don't know how much I had.
I'll be fine.
Dude, by the time I went to bed, like we went to our room, I was just like, I just wanted to fall into the bed and just fall. I think we just did. I was like couldn't process. I couldn't think. I just like fell into
That's
bed and fell asleep.
funny.
The freaking next day, I had a headache and I felt so dehydrated. I was like, I don't freaking want another goddamn drink again. I don't want any more. And the next night, like the lady remembered me at the bar and she gave me a sangria and I took it, but I literally drank like that much and I was like, I'm just having water tonight. I just, you get sick of it.
Yeah.
It
And
happens.
what's that?
It happens.
It happens.
So
And
don't worry about it. Let yourself indulge until one day you won't.
exactly. It could it be that's what this realm's about, you know, like we're just think of all this stuff as we talk about the Kybalion, everybody. You know, Bootsy took the original one, read it, went through it, gave us his amazing version, and now we're giving you the over Sharon version, which is going to be like 85 million hours long. But it's cool because you get all these personal stories in there and you get to hang out with us. And also, I just want to say quickly, if you ever find yourself in that situation again, or maybe not Sharon, but somebody else, and it might not work with wine as much, but if it's like liquor, you know, when you wake up in the morning, just sip a shot and then just go about your day. If you don't have, you know, if you don't have to drive, I'm not there. If you're on vacation, and could it be that, man, not that I do that, but I've seen it or heard about it. and it's like called the hair of the dog thing. And people usually think it's because you keep drinking all day, but you don't have to do that. You just do a little, and it gives your. Could it be? I'm not giving advice, but I think your body's going through like these withdrawals, so you have a little bit of it, and then you drink water, obviously, like Sharon. And I think the other key too is just keep drinking water. Whenever I know I'm
Dude,
gonna overdrink, I drink
yeah,
water along with it.
that's what I was doing because the second day I was like, maybe I'll have a little sangria, but I'll have water. Well, I ended up just
Yeah,
drinking mostly water because I was like, nah, I'm just not feeling the sangria. But I
yeah,
kept telling Cody because he was still drinking. I was like, drink water. Like after you have a sip of this, drink some water.
yeah.
And
It flushes it right
he did
out.
a little better that second day, but that first day he was like he drank a bit much, but
I learned that trick in the Marines. We just drink water,
just
bottles of water along with the beer.
yeah. If sip of beer, sip of water, sip of beer, sip of
We
what?
were for a while in Italy. We were working on airplanes, but it was like 24 hours on, 24 hours off of working. So we were like 20. I probably told the story. I'm an INTP, everybody. I tag it that way. Here, there we go. I'm an INTP. See, I tell stories. But yeah, 24 hours of like working and then sleeping a little bit, and then 24 hours of like partying. It's like so. Ah, those are the glory days, everybody. To be 19 in Italy again, I tell you what, I was like invincible. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, that was our little side rant, guys. On
Yeah, we're overshare. It's what we bring to the table here. We hope you enjoyed it. All right. We'll get back to we still
let's
have a lot of time left, so
yeah, we do.
we're good.
I feel like time is like slowed down.
Yeah, I really have. I know. I felt kind of feels like we've been going for 2 hours, not in like a
Right.
time, not,
Right.
just in a content way. Like I feel like I've been talking that long. It's
I
cool.
know.
All right. The art of mental transmutation is the ability to take one emotional state and change it to alchemize it to another.
That's what we were talking about earlier, especially when I was talking about going up, taking the van and going and picking up that couch.
Exactly.
I could have
Oh, and
changed
I also,
my perspective, right?
yeah, exactly. And shout out to Cody, by the way. I love Cody. He's amazing. Okay, this ability isn't just present within each individual, but if used precisely, can also affect the mood and emotional state of many other people, even en masse. So, this is what we're
Wow.
talking about. When two or more are gathered in my name, we're all
Wow.
this. Could it be we're all just the same consciousness and we're having this fun. We're in a playground, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And this like explains too when I just mentally know that everything's going to be good and Cody's going to be okay on his drive, everything's going to work out, all that stuff.
Yeah. This power can be harnessed and used to make large amounts of people experience the world differently. What a great way to say it, Bootsy. Man, the true Hermetic student understands this impact on not only themselves, but the world around them. The universe is mental. Mind is primary, in quotations, the cause. And the material world around us is secondary, in quotations, the effect. This principle is first principle, and the Kybalion teaches how to use this principle by explaining the other principles and their relation to this fundamental truth.
Let me just quickly make a comment on that first
Yeah,
paragraph
I'll go back.
reading. Just right, no, right there, the power can be harnessed. Up a little bit.
Sorry. Yeah.
Up, yeah, the power can be harnessed and used to make large amounts of people experience the world differently. I feel like this is what Brandon and I could it be? Could it be that we're doing this with the show?
Oh, and could it be everyone who's listening who hits a like or subscribes and helps with our great pyramid scheme is also doing that? Oh my God, could it be that easy? I don't know.
By joining the pyramid scheme with the one thumbs up a week.
Yeah. If you want, I could let you read for a little while because I know this is good because I haven't been reading a lot, so I could keep going, but you might as well get some in there.
Okay. All right. The all is mind. So I'll just comment on that right now. Well, let me finish that. The universe is mental, quote. That's a quote of the Kybalion. So The all is mind. The all, the universe, God, consciousness, the divine, anything you want to call it, the universe,
Source.
source, all those words. That,
The spaghetti monster.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, it's that's mind. So, like, I always think of it as like an author who writes a book, right? And he has all these little characters, you know, and I'm a character, and Brandon's a character, and we're in the mind of God, right? So could it, are we God? Am I God by myself? Like just me, like, oh, I'm God? No. But collectively, the whole consciousness, all of us, each and every one of us is just like one little fractal, one hologram of the universe, of God, of consciousness, of divine source, whatever you want to call it.
I love it. What if God got bored and said, let me try to split my consciousness into 6 quadrillion pieces? And oh, it's gonna be a headache. I'm getting old, man. No, what if they're like, let's cut my consciousness in all these pieces, and then what if that's what we are? And because of that, we don't know everything. So we're out here thinking we're fucking up and sinning, and we're guilty, and we're like, man, I'm a terrible person. I'm such a, I'm a terrible. Look at me walking around like I'm smoking. Oh my God, what do people think? Hang on.
Smoking and drinking.
Elizabeth, get the mead. Elizabeth, get the mead. Look at me over here smoking and drinking. I'm terrible. Like that's us, right? But we're just part of God, and the rest of God is yes. Here comes my woman with the mead. Here we go. Look at me. I'm terrible smoking and drinking. Look, I'm literally smoking and drinking. I'm a terrible person. Oh, it's such good. By the way, I know we don't do commercials, but look at this Odin's skull. Can I just read to you what it says? When drinking, you are drinking 5,000 years of personal history, preserved history. Mead is one of the few things. But anyway, it's a recipe from the 1700s. Anyway, oh my God, she has my hat on too. My wife is lovely and amazing. But I was saying all that because we're just an aspect of God out here thinking we're fucking up. You can't fuck up. You can't. You cannot fuck up. All right. The police will tell you can fuck up and they'll put you in a cage. So I'm not telling you to commit crimes. But according to God, could it be if he gave you the ability to do all this stuff, and you're an aspect of him, you're Frodo trying to destroy the ring, you are Kwisatz Haderach, the Lisan al-Gaib. That's you, man. You're gonna make some mistakes. Read the other books. Paul fuck
Even if you're Gollum,
even if you're fucking God.
even if you're Gollum.
Oh my God. Remember last week when I was saying, if you know someone who's bothering you, they can't be worse than Gollum. How about this? We're treating ourselves like Gollum. Oh my God.
But like you're not Gollum.
But you're not Gollum. You're not worse than Gollum, right? Yeah, that's the thing. Instead of looking at it as a friend, you would look at it as yourself. Like, you're not Gollum. Oh, here you go, lover. So why treat yourself like that, you know?
Yeah, but
How
even
does
if
that sound?
you were Gollum or you encounter someone like Gollum, they're also on their journey, on their path, doing their thing. And
Could it be?
remember,
Oh, that meat was so good.
rem-
Sorry.
remember that if Gollum took that ring, the ring that ruled them all, and destroyed it, then he destroyed everything that was like all the negativity that ring had brought about or whatever, right?
And he was a manifestation of that evil. He became so evil because of it. So, like Sharon's saying, the evil had its seeds in it of its own destruction. Like, so you don't got to worry about it. And if you like to take it a step further, if you feel that way about yourself, that evil, that demon that's inside you, remember, Christian, let's try that again. Take two. Sharon and I born again Christian stuff, they would cast demons out of people, right? They're literally telling her there's a demon inside you. Well, guess what? You're right. Maybe there's a demon, but that demon inside you, let him, let him free and let him exercise, drink a little bit, whatever it is. You'll get sick of that demon. He'll no longer be fun anymore, and you just have to say later, demon. That's all you got to do. Be like, you know what, demon, I love you, and they'll go like and run away,
Yeah.
And that's what it with drinking or anything, gambling, what.
Like when I was a like when I was a baby and I said I love Satan because we have to love our enemies.
Hail Satan? No, no, no. Love Satan. Dude, that would be such a funny skit. We should do it. We could just easily even do it on Zoom, but we could be like, go to church and you could be, and it's like, hate Satan, hate Satan? No, and I'll be like, no, no. We'll be like, no, no, no. Love Satan. And then you go to like a Satanist thing where like, hail Satan. No, no, no. Love Satan. Like, just love your enemy. Don't hate him. Don't worship him. Just love him.
And remember, loving somebody doesn't mean, or, loving something or somebody doesn't mean you condone what they're doing. Love, God's love is unconditional. So it just means you accept people for who they are. You just let them be. You let them make their mistakes. You let them do the things that they're going to do. And you don't judge them. I mean, yeah, you might judge them, and that's okay. But like in the grand scheme of things, let God, let go, let God, and God will take care of the rest. It's all part of the plan.
There you go. All right. I'll bring it back up for you. Look at
All right.
this. We're killing it.
Chapter 4, the all, under and back of the universe of time, space, and change is ever to be found the substantial reality, the fundamental truth. And that is a quote from the Kybalion. The Kybalion defines substance as that which underlies all outward manifestations, the essence, the essential reality, the thing itself, etc. Substantial means actually existing, being in the essential element, being real, etc. Reality means the state of being real, true, enduring, valid, fixed, permanent, actual, etc. Under and behind all outward appearances, there must be a substantial reality. This is the law. The Kybalion supposes that there must be something making up the reality we all experience. That reality has to have some starting point, and that the primary principle being mental, that this must be, sorry, I don't
Don't
know.
worry about it. Don't worry. You're killing it. Don't worry about it.
That this must be the place to begin. All right, I'm going to read that again
Yeah, it's so weird. I'd read it
slowly.
again.
The Kybalion supposes that there must be something making up the reality we all experience. As in, for example, you might say, okay, this Kybalion is supposing that substance, right, is making up this reality, right? Some form of matter. Okay.
And this word supposes too.
Yeah.
That's why I love the Kybalion and also Owen Hunt, Bootsy Greenwood, his interpretation, because we're not making claims really. It's like a mental experiment here. What if this is
Mm-hmm.
how it could be? And then they're making some claims out here. But when they make the claims, they quote this work, the Kybalion. It's so genius. They're like, we're just quoting this work that's really not making claims, but we're quoting it to make it look like a claim. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So that reality has to have some starting point, and the primary principle being mental. So the reality has some starting point, the primary principle being mental, that this must be the place to begin. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, so it makes me think of before you have anything, like let's say you want to make a chair out of wood, right? You have to think about it first. It's a mental process first. Okay, what am I going to need? How am I going to build this? And what's the process? You know, it's a thought process. You imagine that chair that you're going to build, and then you find all the materials for it and the plan to make it, etc. Right? That's the place where you begin. I think that's kind of what it's trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. It's so that's the supposing that that's where they come to where they're going to make this, claim that everything is mental, right? That's where they're trying to, that's their proof to you, right? That's their presupposition. This is our hypothesis, everybody. If, so basically they're telling us going forward, that's how they're going to explain everything. And so really what we have in such simple, eloquent terms is a whole reality or is a whole perspective shift. It's the hanged man. They're telling you right now that everything you're going to read is based on the fact that everything here is mental and not solid reality that you could take with you anywhere other than this realm. You know, you can't take it with you, man, no matter what it is, except your perspective and point of view. It's the only thing you could take. Not even this beautiful hair, Brandon. It's all got to go. It's a closing sale. We're going out of business. The
Close
hair,
up
the beard, the
clearance.
voice, the teeth, the height. It's all got to go one day. But guess what? The perspective isn't going to go. And I just had a perspective shift as you were talking because these little thoughts, Satan was creeping in and he was like, "Are you going to go to the open mic later today?" And then, "Oh, we got to work all weekend and it's hot out there." And then I'm like, "Dude, I'm just going to not worry about it. It's all going to fucking work out." And I just started to go. And it's funny. It's because when you had to reread the thing, it's when it was going through my mind. And I was on the edge of a precipice of one of those things where I was like going to start laughing and crying. That's why I was kind of like laughing. So, you know what? It's all going to be fucking great. And you guys see it here real time. And I'm saying it like, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. And next week I'm gonna be like, "Oh, last week was great. This is what happened," and you know,
Yeah, yeah.
so
And
or I'm gonna be like, "This week was terrible. Isn't that weird and great? Like, guess what I found out? I'm related to the mustache
XYZ.
man." No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Just kidding, everybody. Remember, we don't hail and we don't hate. We just love.
That's right.
Somebody write it down. We don't
The
hail,
new quote.
hate.
It's a new quote.
It's a new oversharing,
Yeah.
whatever, oversharing one of those words. You get it. Anyway, that's escaping me. But yeah, no, great way to put it down, and it was a little thick there, so great way to break it
Yeah,
down.
I noticed that you were kind of like not fully there, and then you came back. So,
It's weird because I've been voraciously paying attention, even though I always tell people sometimes it looks like I'm not paying attention, and most times I really am. But I do have these crazy mental powers, so sometimes I'm like in a different realm, but. I'll have little thoughts here and there and let them go, but that little thought and then it just turned into that, and I was like, "Whoa!" But yeah, and I wait right back to the present moment, and it was yeah,
absolutely.
it's what we do here, everybody. And I think it was the word mental. It's really what's backwards. I like it, latinum. I'm sorry, latinum, right? Mental backwards, a latinum.
Oh,
I think I want to start. I'm gonna write that word down. I like it. Sounds like platinum a little and Latin, but mixed, and
yes.
it's Latinum, but it's mental backwards. Oh, what do we have
Right.
here? All right.
That's very cool.
Hey, if anyone likes it and they feel free, use it in your own mind. Latinum. Okay, cool.
All
Uh,
right.
And mental. All right. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right.
I
So,
digress.
in fact, it is uh okay, in other words, it's the place to begin, right? The mental is the place to begin. In fact, it is the place to begin. And the fundamental reality we experience is indivisible from everything we can even begin to imagine. Yeah,
We should
yeah, like
read that again.
just nuts. This is, okay, keep going. What?
No, I think we should read it. Well, I'll read it. In fact, it is, and the fund. In fact, it is. And the fundamental reality we experience is indivisible from everything we can't even begin to imagine. So it's like it's everything and more, like we are a part of,
Yeah,
kind of.
it's a paradox, right?
Uh, it's cool. All right, go ahead.
Infinity is a real mathematical certainty, and so everything must exist within the mental realm and cannot be outside of that realm. So the all is the encapsulating essence, force, reality, creator, designer, etc., that is underlying all of existence. There you go.
And
The
you know
all.
what they're basically saying at the end of the day? Everyone take a shot. They're saying we're in a dream. They're telling you that we're in a freaking dream, just really with fancy words and all hoity-toity and like because you
You're
can't
in
tell
a
it.
book. You're in
Yeah,
a dream. You're being written. The story's being written.
guys, watch Futurama with the brain episodes where the brains attack and Fry is really his brain is a different alpha wave and Nibbler. Just look that one up and watch it. It's exactly what Sharon's talking about. We're writing the story as we're in it, and so just have fun because maybe we go to a place where there is a real reality. Who knows? And maybe we're like, oh, this sucks. So I wish I was back in that realm again. Maybe we had to rob. Look at it this way. Okay, so maybe this realm is an experience that people can have in a different reality. They could come to this realm, but it's expensive, and sometimes people get addicted to it. So maybe we stole everything from everyone we knew and trusted us just to get this experience. So fucking enjoy it. We're like cosmic no like astro crackheads. We're like in here. So anyway, whatever reason we got here, enjoy it. It is some kind of dream, and maybe we'll go to another one. But until then, if it is a dream, I know from when I was younger, I used to be able to control my dreams. I don't dream as much, and when I do now, I really don't even feel the need to control it. So maybe that's a good sign. But when I did, I remember I could control my dreams and make everything happen, and I would always make it better, right? So if that's the freaking case, and we are in a dream, you're the one who's responsible. Could it be? Brandon, you're doing it to yourself. See, that's why I'm just letting it all go. I'm having a
Let
great
it
time.
all go. Blue
Yeah.
Kachina is addicted to dreaming, he says.
There you go. See, Blue Kachina, he gets it if anyone else would get it. You're dreaming right now, could it be, I think. And you know what? Thank you for dreaming, sharing us into your life. And you could go to More Laws, More Problems in your dream, and you could dream about clicking on. Uh, and if this is all a dream, then money doesn't matter. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding, everybody. We love you. Your support really means a lot to us, and it really is just about coming here and giving us your attention. Whatever we're
That is the currency.
yeah. But again, if we're in a dream, thank you for dreaming about us. It touches my giant heart, you know, to know that you could take the time. Blue, you could be watching anything. Blue, you could be watching Archaics right now. Just kidding. But you can't be watching Sarcastic Warlock apparently because they keep taking his YouTube channels down. Jeez. Anyway, hopefully he has a new one up. I love his stuff, but did you call me an astral crackhead? Listen, dude, denial ain't just a river in Egypt, my friend Blue. Clip this because you are a astral crackhead, bro. You stole from your astral mom her VCR because they still got VCRs in that realms. Because let's face it, DVDs are just not where it's at. They have Betamax, so you sold your mom's Betamax player
But
to get to
remember,
this realm. How shame she can't watch her shows tonight now that you recorded. Good job, Blue. But at least you're here having a good time, and thank you for dreaming about us. That's the
remember,
comedy I bring here.
remember that if you are in denial, you're still on your way to the Great Pyramid Scheme, depending on which direction you're coming from. But yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, Blue is killing it. Are you kidding me? He gets it. He's like a one of the founding or no, what's the word? Cornerstone. Hey, you get it. Guys, we're using all these titles. Let's get back to the Kybalion.
Yeah.
Enough worshiping our own worshipers. Just kidding, everybody. Please don't worship us. We're just people, just like you. You could do this too. But do what you're being called to do. Don't be a podcaster if that's not what you're meant to do. Uh, but if you want to do it, do it. All right. So you were reading. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. All right. I read that first paragraph. The all cannot be separated from itself, therefore, it is one. It also cannot be divided from itself, as it contains the energy of everything. This is why, and now I'm speaking not from the Kybalion, but from myself. When we talk about the hologram, right, that is, I guess, a metaphor for explaining this. And when we also talk about, I guess, what is called, what are the Buddhists or like non-duality and I forgot the word that they use in, I don't know if it's Buddhism or Hinduism. But
Advaita or whatever.
yes, Advaita. Thank you.
You're
That's what I
welcome.
was looking for. So that's what that basically is, you know. So many different cultures talking about the same thing, but using different words from their own language and their own culture. So that's what that's saying. All right, I will keep reading. It cannot be known in a static manner as we see the all in everything operating through constant change.
That right there to cut
Yeah.
you off so eloquently, sorry. It cannot be known in a static manner. You can't know this. It's a freaking mystery, everybody. But we could joke about it. You could suppose and make hypotheses, but you can't know it, and it's okay. That's
And
half the battle.
I
Go ahead.
guess in a static manner makes me think of, you're when you learn something, when you quote know something, you're experiencing something that is not static. That is a change, like you're going through something, you're changing, you're experiencing. Any one point in time is already in the past. Like right now, that was in the past. So it's constant. It's always changed. So you can't like know something like in static. You have to learn, experience something, and that is how you know.
Certainty is the road to ruin, could it be? And if you think you know something, like if you think you know
Oh
this
yes,
fact, right?
that's the
That's what
static.
people confuse it with. Knowing is what Sharon was talking about when you experience someone and you know a woman and she becomes your wife and you guys Adam and Eve and you know her like so that's what she's talking about. And then people confuse that for I have this knowledge. I learned that the moon is
I read
not made
this
out of
book.
cheese. What's that?
I read this book and I
I
read
read it in a
it
book
on the internet.
that the moon is not made out of cheese. It's a lunar rock. And so then you will argue with people and in reality it might not even be anything whatever it is, right, whatever you're arguing about, and that's what we're talking about. So you can't know, and and by that same token, by that same Tolkien, you can't know what this realm exactly is, because if you do, then it's not going to work on you, right? If you can really know it's all just a dream, like I just had that, you get glimpses of it. It's like samadhi, right? You get tiny glimpses and you're but if you knew it, then you
You'd leave.
you'd leave, or there would be no reason for you to be here
Yeah.
unless you were
You'd
enlightened or
walk
whatever.
through
So
the mirror.
if that's your path to be a Christ figure, God bless you. I'm glad you're watching this show. But what I'm saying is, for the rest of us meager folks, you can only do what I forgot what I was saying, but you guys get it. It was a fun one. It'll come right back to me and I'll be like, nah.
And it might not, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think I was making the point and
I
then I went
lost
to
a
the
train of thought earlier too, and I'm just like, well, if it comes back, it was meant to be.
Yeah, I'm just so excited about the Kybalion. It's really and Sharon, like she's just, oh, yeah, no, I think we made the point. It's basically just between the knowings, right? So when you know, or if you have the knowledge, and that's what the Kybalion is saying, you can't know statically something. So you can't say, oh, I know for sure. You could say, I had these experiences, and this is what they taught me. They taught me that if I put my hand on a hot stove, it's gonna be bad for everybody.
And I
So
tried. It was bad.
yeah. So Uh, anyway, and you can't be like, this fact is what, because that's where you get stuck, man. Certainty's the road to ruin. And it just for the simple fact, if it leads you to an argument and it leads you to it leads you to be ostracized
Yes, thank you.
by
I couldn't think of the way to say it either.
ostracization. Anyway, it leads you to be an ostrich with the giant eggs. It leads you to some conflict with a loved one where you should be, even if you don't see eye to eye, it's fine as long as you guys have the same intention in mind and you want to have a great life. There's no reason to argue about who the comedian is today. Is it a guy who jokes about drone bombs at
And
his
even if you
daughter's
don't,
16th birthday while he's drone bombing kids, or is it a buffoon? It doesn't matter. Just have Thanksgiving dinner and have fun. Go ahead,
and
Sharon.
even if you don't agree with them, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? And maybe happy, you could use a different word, content or in peace, Would you rather
Higher
be,
vibration.
yeah, would you rather be right or would you rather be at peace?
And sometimes you got to stand up and go against the flow, I think.
Yeah,
But pick your battles. Wait till it's something like, whoa, okay, we got to say something about this.
yeah,
Like,
right.
oh no, Uncle Joe over there, it's a little weird, dude. But if he's talking about the moon or JFK, it's like, whatever, dude. Just say, hey, how's that turkey though, right? That turkey, I mean, come on, it's free range turkey. How is it? How's that stuffing, Uncle Joe? You know, who cares about the moon, man? Isn't that what they want you to do? Wouldn't they want you to fight? That's what I said to somebody recently. I made a connection with a family friend, and I realized it was actually a relative, an aunt. So I was talking to her, and I was just saying, what we want to talk about politics, and isn't that what they'd want you to do? Fight? Like if say you were in control of all these people, right, and you wanted to control them, wouldn't it be easier if they were fighting at Thanksgiving instead of getting together and figure out ways to do things better than what your support? It's like, think about it. Don't fight at Thanksgiving. Anyway, we should make that a shirt. Don't fight at Thanksgiving. It ain't worth it. Anyway, did I totally derail us?
Maybe that's fine.
Thanks. All right. I needed to hear it, I guess, if somebody didn't. That's what all that rant is what we mean by it cannot be known in a static manner. See,
Yeah.
I can't even highlight it correctly. See? All right.
All right. Thoughts come, wind blows, winds blow, sorry. Flowers bloom and leaves fall. We see the all operate in everything, but cannot experience it at its purest essence. Wow.
Yeah.
Be certain that the all is the tie that binds all of us together and that the mental plane is infinite. The all and spirit are the same and are responsible for the manifestation of physical reality. I would also say you can make that synonym, consciousness is another synonym for the all and spirit, right?
Yeah. Perfect. You're right. And I do want to say quickly, this is just refuting materialism really here quickly. That's what they're saying. They're just telling you that we're not materialists. We were saying that spirit is responsible for the physical reality. Spirit comes first. I just wanted to say that. That's what they're saying here. And might I add, I'm pretty sure they improved that in the 1800s. I listen to a lot of Michael Desarion, and he quotes all these philosophers and stuff, and they really destroyed materialism. And there's been no response since then. There's just been, changing of what's in the books and indoctrinating, whatever. Cool. It's cool. It's more resistance for us. It makes us stronger. I mean, look at what it did to Sharon and I. We're like, you can't tell us anything. Are you kidding me? I feel bad for the person who tries to challenge one of us on something. I mean, not that we would even care, but I'm just saying if we had to, like, yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's all I want to say. That's important that they're saying that physical is from the spirit. Go ahead though.
The all is mind. The universe is mental and infinite. Everything in existence and beyond exists, and it's all connected through the spirit of the all. It's inescapable and ever present, what many religions refer to as God. And may I just say, this is me speaking now, not reading, that what I just read reminds me of the Tao,
Mm.
right?
I'll bring it right back up. Yeah, totally. So that's why there's so much overlap. It's crazy.
Yeah. The all is mind, the
Exactly.
universe
Yeah.
is mental.
I forget
And
exactly how they put it, but yeah, it's like the darkness within darkness kind of stuff, you know? Like,
yeah, it's all connected through the spirit of the all. It's inescapable, ever present, right?
yeah. It always has been, the Tao is eternal. You can't say it, the eternal name, Tao is just a name. You can't point
Right.
to the fucking thing. Like, don't look at the finger pointing at the moon. Look at the moon.
No.
I love that. That was a good call.
Do you want to read or do you want me to keep?
Yeah, I think we're right on mental. It's great. I was thinking that and you said it. The Kybalion simply refers to this force essence, primary unit of reality as the all. So they're just telling you this is what the all is. So going forward, they defined it for you. The all is God, not in the deity sense, but in the sense of connective tissue or the living fundamental particle. This is really important because they're in a way telling you not to worship anything,
Yeah, right.
it's not a deity that you could pray to. I mean, in a way it is, it could be said, but not an not being idol worshippers. Don't do that. God's not going to give you a Mercedes Benz, is what we're saying,
For
right?
worshiping him or
Yeah.
her.
You could manifest a Mercedes, but even though it's a lovely song, you know that song, God, won't you give me a Mercedes Benz? I figured you know that one. Oh, anyhow, so yeah, some people out there got it. But yeah, you guys get it anyway. I love that they just tell you right there it's not a deity.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have something else to say? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
I
Living
just
fundamental.
actually I'll just quick shout out to Ben Balderson who's in the chat.
Ah, Baldy, we gotta connect soon. I should be working, but I hurt myself yesterday because I forgot I'm old. Yes, rest up, old man. I know that feel, bro. I'm gonna be in the realm 49 years coming up soon, and I love you, Balderson. I'm so glad you're here. That I'm old, stupid, or hurt, both. Probably all. But listen, Balderson, by the way, if you rewind this, you will see me drink a little bit of mead from Odin's. I forgot what it is. It's a commercial thing we found, but it looks pretty cool. But
That
it
is,
had Odin on it, so I thought about you.
Brandon, that's hilarious that you said that because I thought of Ben when you showed the mead, when you talked about the mead,
Yeah,
I thought of him.
I thought of him too. I always
That's
think of him and
funny
Odin.
as heck.
And yesterday was Odin's day, and
Yes, it was.
I had a
And today is
omen
Thor's day.
recently. I saw three crows, Mr. Benjamin Balderson. I returned Mother's Day. It was Mother's Day, and I live about an hour away. My parents live an hour away from where I live. I went there, and I was at a plaza where I grew up near, and I was going to the store there. I saw three crows chasing a bald eagle in Milford, Connecticut. And there's eagle. I've seen them before, but anyway, three crows chasing a bald eagle out toward the sound, and then they flew back one at a time. And I since found three dark truths in my family, and it was crazy about my yeah. So I'm telling you, bro, we got to get together soon. The omens, look up here, hail. Anyway.
Oh, tell him the quote you said earlier.
Oh,
Tell Christy I said thank you.
oh, what's up, Christy? How's it going?
Um, okay, Brandon said earlier, you have to give him the background. He said, we don't hail and we don't hate, we just love.
Yeah, we say we don't hail and we don't hate. You could
And when
hail
you said
crows.
hail, I thought of Ben too.
It's funny. I thought a sarcastic warlock. I hope he's watching. They were in my live chat the other day when I did the little car thing. It was cool. They're doing well. They're just doing the same hermiting, just like it's so funny. Everyone's hermiting. Anyway, so yeah, that's so funny. We were just thinking. I think you know what it was. We manifested it mentally. We're talking about the
Yeah, I think
Kybalion.
so. Yeah.
You know. Oh, nice. He watches Sarah's Tomato Show. Oh, yeah, he's dude. him and Cass were in the chat, and I was like, yes. We have some stuff to talk about, Walters, and I can't say it because it'll take over the show, but it's great. All right, back to the Kybalion, everybody. Here we go. I know how to work Zoom. There we go. So again, the all is God, not in the deity sense. Remember that, everybody. Okay, so we are each a part of the all and cannot be separated from it. The Kybalion describes the all. The Kybalion describes the all is the infinite living mind, which is infinite, absolute, eternal, and unchangeable. The illumined call it spirit. Oh, I guess I'm illumined. I didn't even know it. I am a light beacon, according to my name, Brandon. So,
Yeah.
should we wrap it here, or do you want to go through this? We got
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. We'll end on page, I mean, 22. 22 out of 88.
Let's just read the quote, right? You want to give them a little teaser? I'll read it. Okay. So we're going to pick up next week or next time, everybody. Who knows what lovely episode you get next week? But it might be Kybalion. It might be a
The Alchemist, or
Alchemist. It might
something
be just
else.
a free load
Yeah.
episode. You never know. We
Never
might
know
have a
yet.
guest. Yeah. Huh? The five, the mental universe. The universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. The Kybalion. All right.
Yeah.
Permeate on that till next time, everybody. But we'll hang out and chat for a little bit. Don't worry, everybody.
Yeah. I was just gonna maybe make a comment on that final thing you read right before, on page,
Please do.
what is page 21, but it's labeled as page 15.
Blackjack.
Um, it says the Kybalion describes the all, I think that's the typo. It should probably say as the all
Yeah.
infinite living mind, which is infinite, absolute, eternal, and unchangeable. And that just reminds me of like what Christians think of as God, as like the all-knowing, the like the omnipotent, which is the like has the all power, right? The omnipotent, the all the all-knowing, which is the omniscient, the all-knowing, and the omnipresent, which is always there. So that's what that reminds me of. So again, every religion will have different words for explaining this.
Exactly. They're just fingers pointing to the moon, you know. So don't get stuck looking at, even though, listen, I know I have beautiful hands. Like, look at my nails. Like, I want to cut them, but they're just really strong. It's crazy. And I feel like I need them for some reason, but I keep them clean and they don't really affect me. I don't grow them out too long, but I don't know. I feel like I create with them. Anyway, I'm probably just crazy. It's cool. Listen, if you accept the fact that you're okay with that you might be crazy, it makes life a lot easier. You know, like I told my parents yesterday on Odin's Day, they put me in a place for 3 months, and I had a word I had to repeat over and over again. And to make the long story short, that word was kill. So yeah, it might be a little crazy, but it adds to the chaos that I have and to the comedy. And I've learned to channel in a way that is productive. And I've healed a lot of wounds, and Sharon could say the same. And this is a commercial for our show because this is what we bring. These are our perspectives. When you hear stuff that we say, it's filtered through all the stuff that we've went through in our entire lives and all the experiences and everything we've learned, you know? So I say shout out to us and shout out to everybody who's in the chat and hanging out and that ever watches or listens to this because this type of stuff is the most important stuff. According to the Kybalion, we're trying to change the world here by working on ourselves. Sounds a little egotistical, but hey, you know, if that's what gets you to work on yourself, change the world, man. You could do it. But again, don't worry about the world because it's already perfect.
That
It's where it needs
that's
to be, right?
that's a good point that I never thought of. You know, because people are always like, we need to change the world, right? Right? Well, change your, if you really, really feel like you really, really want to change the world, I think that's really telling you that you should kind of change yourself, like work on yourself or like know thyself type thing, right?
Yeah, that's an indicator. It's okay though. As we say, we never have judgment. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. We were
Because the
talking.
world is perfect. So, it is what it is. And if you think that it's not, then you think God is making mistakes, right? And is if God is omniscient and omnipotent and then he made the world and he made a perfect world, then the world is perfect. So, it is what it is.
And he wanted Balderson to get hurt so he can hear our show, I guess. Sorry. I didn't ask for it, man. I am Wolverine. I
Yeah.
was like, God, can you let Balderson be in our chat tomorrow?
Like
And he's like,
we
yeah, fuck
thought
him.
him into the show because like you said hail and then you said mead and I was like thinking of him. And so like that brought him on, right?
Yeah, I was like, God, come on, bring him to the show tomorrow. And then God was like, yeah, fuck him, whack. And he oops, see, I don't know how powerful I am. But yeah, if you think you want to change the world, just read Dune. And but the best part about it is, yeah, he tried to change the world and all these crazy things happening that were terrible, but he just did his thing, and it was okay that he did because it ended up being all perfect anyway. So there's really
Well,
nothing you can do wrong. So we're just kind of talking for nothing, everybody. Just do what you need to do.
repeat that story that we talked about, I think it was last week, about the man whose son went, got hurt or whatever. And
Yes.
like he was the type of man to say like there's a reason for everything or
There's
something.
a reason for everything, and yeah, basically it was. I think his son was hurt, and something little happened before where it had worked out. Like there was something where he was like, I wanted to work out this way, and it didn't. But then, it all worked out in the end. And then he tells another story about, my son got hurt, and he broke his leg or something, and I felt really bad. He couldn't help with the farming and all this stuff, and he was in despair. But then they came along looking for people to join the war, and he couldn't take my son, and everyone that was taken was killed in that war. So my son was healed and
Was
he was
spared.
fine. Yeah, so Balderson was meant to listen. We're equating some guy. This is what we do on the show, Balderson. We're
The
equating
story.
some guy's son with saving his son from war to us, you watching the show. That's how.
It was a perspective, right?
That's the level we put to your presence. We feel like our son was saved from war when you're in here. No, anyway, we're just sharing the love. But yeah, what a great episode.
Yeah.
And
And I
it's funny
think,
that this synchronicity, that omen of Owen Benjamin. I'm sorry. Oh my God, that's crazy. I was thinking of Owen Hunt because we've been saying his name. Because if
oh
you
my,
guys don't know, we've been reading Owen's version of the Kybalion, and then I called Balderson Owen because I was thinking of Owen Hunt, but then I said Owen Benjamin. So is he gonna get in the chat now? That God, can you put Owen Benjamin in our chat?
oh,
Listen, just get him
stop.
on it. I think if me and Owen Benjamin got together, it would be the funniest podcast that you guys heard in a while. I'm just saying because I'm not gonna try to whatever. I'm just gonna fucking try to make him laugh the whole time with my silly humor, and I've already made him laugh one time. So anyway. But no, Balderson, we love you. I forgot what I was saying. We're happy that you were hurt to come here today. We hope it's not too bad though. Recover soon.
You'll be fine. Everything's gonna work out.
It was Odin.
Everything's gonna be okay.
That's so funny that I just said Owen Benjamin. I just gave
Owen
permission.
Hunt, Benjamin Balderson.
Yeah.
You merged them.
It's the name thing though. It's really crazy how these names. And I was thinking of Benjamin Balderson's name the other day. Like, what an awesome name that is. Like, you know. Anyway, it's funny how it comes up. And now he shows up. Just an old man trying to do young man's things. So I'm limp a day or two. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I just have a different calling right now. My job is to make people dance. It's so I'm like, I'm a dancing monkey at weddings. It's so funny. All right, I just gotta hurt myself now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this lovely episode, this week's episode. Remember to be a member of the Great Pyramid. All you have to do is hit a thumbs up. One thumbs up a week, you be a member of the Great Pyramid scheme. And that really just involves, you know, trusting God and going with the flow,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess the show's over. We're right almost at 2 hours, right?
Yeah,
Let's
we're
see.
at the 2 hour.
Let's
We're like
check the
from
chat.
pretty much
Tony saying
exactly at the
goodbye.
2 hour mark.
21 views, 6 viewers, an average view duration of 28 minutes. Thank you guys so much. That means a lot. We've been going for about 2 hours, so to have an average view duration of 28 minutes, even though we've only had 21 views, it means that there's people watching the whole thing, like, whatever. So it's cool that there's people here, even if there's only 5 people watching the whole thing. That means the world to Sharon and I. You guys are part of our reality tunnel now. There's nothing you can do. We're going all the way to the top, baby. So yeah, I'm excited. Go to morelawsmoreproblems.com. Click on the Oversharing tab for more. You could get all of our lovely podcasts. I'm sorry, lovely audio and podcast form there through Podbean. All the links are there though at More Laws, More Problems. And trying to think of what else we like to tell people. Thank you guys in the chat. Shout out again to the chat. Thanks for hanging out there, Ray. Thanks for the heart. Ben, Tony, you're the man. Blue Kachina, we love you. I didn't really read the chat. I did drop a bomb in there, but I didn't read it. That's all right, guys. By the way, I'm doing great. If you're asking. Okay. Yeah, so stay tuned. We're still covering The Alchemist. If you guys are into that, check that out. We recently finished an entire series on the Tao, and we feel like we got an upgrade because of it, you know? It's like the Chinese food even tastes better when I get it now. No. I can't help myself. I just have to make corny jokes. But it does though, in a way. But yeah, just so look for that, look for bigger and better things and make suggestions in the comments. Let us know if we missed something or if you have a different point of view. Whatever it is, comment. Share the love. Just put emojis in there. Take a second because if you comment, you really get escalated. Like you start at the bottom by liking at the Great Pyramid Scheme, and then when you start to comment and like, you move all the way up. So do that, whatever it is. Yeah. So anyway, I got to start saying that in the beginning. We say it a little, but it's fine. This honestly, like Sharon and I said from the start, it's just really a therapy session for us, and we like that you're here. So thank you. Um, Anything else, Sharon, you'd like to add or say to the lovely people?
I think we've said enough.
Thank you very much. I have said enough and probably too much because I was over Sharon. So what do we say to the good people,
Usual,
Sharon?
per usual,
Per usual. What do we say to the good people, Sharon?
that once you start Sharon,
Then you totally stop over Karen.
that's right.
And remember, everybody, I don't think this episode it seemed too much like it, but we're not trying to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah, you're the alchemist, even though we're not doing the alchemist, but that's what you are in your own life. So go after your own personal legend, as we were talking about in the other series we're doing.
That's right. And if that personal legend is to get hurt and then be a part of our show, so be it. But it's all right because we're going to be recording. Look for that soon too, everybody. I've been talking to Walterston a little bit. Most that I've been talking to nobody, so I talk to him a little is like a lot for me. But anyway, so you'll hear from us. Wheel of Time fans, get excited. Dune fans also get excited for solo projects by me. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and we love you. Have a great weekend. Ciao. All right, it's over.